Donald Trump is, of course, securing a hell of a lot of primary victories to the point where he is the presumptive nominee. Okay, Donald Trump is not in any danger of losing the Republican primary nomination. But every time he gets these massive victories, obviously he had a ton on Super Tuesday. He had a lot over the weekend. Had a lot last week, actually. But every time he does, you have to look beyond the final result. Because what's happening in state by state, pretty much every single state that Trump has won, is that you have a small but decent amount of Republicans telling us the same thing. And they're telling us, I will never vote for Donald Trump. In fact, after Trump's victories over the weekend, you had a couple of conservative Republican voters tell reporters that, listen, I'm not going to vote for Biden, not by any stretch of the imagination. But there is no way in hell I'm going to vote for Donald Trump, so I'm going to go out there and I'm going to look for a third option. Those hurt Trump. Those don't hurt Biden because these are Republican voters. Trump is not growing his base. His base is actually shrinking. Because some of the people, by the way, that have said, I will never vote for Donald Trump, they're two-time Trump voters. They voted for him in 2016 and in 2020, but they're telling us now in 2024, I can't do it again. I can't stand this guy. I want him gone. And again, they're not turning into Biden voters. They're turning into non-Republican voters, which, let's be real here, when it comes to a general election, that's just as good for Biden, right? They may not be voting for him, but at least they're not voting for Donald Trump. And as I've repeatedly said, if even a tiny fraction of these people from these states follow through on their threat to never vote for him, it's in the bag for Biden. Yeah, the polls right now for Biden are pretty bad. But we still have a long way to go. Biden should be acting like he is running behind Trump because he is. I don't like the thought of them not taking these polls seriously. They should be taking them seriously. But I do also think that polling is a little weird and has been for over 10 years now. It has not been accurate. Biden actually overperformed the polls in 2020. Trump underperformed the polls. So there's a lot of factors out there. But the biggest factor to me is that Trump's base continues to get smaller. It's not growing. He's getting more popular in the Republican Party, but that's partially because Republicans are leaving. The moderates are saying, but I'm just not a Republican anymore, so my anti-Trump opinion is no longer counted. So yes, it looks like Trump's getting more popular, but it's only because the group of people saying we love him is the only thing left in the Republican Party. That's what we have to remember with all of these polls and with all of these primary and caucus results. Trump looks good on paper, as long as you don't actually look at the data behind those numbers. Well, folks, we have crossed that 1 million subscriber milestone, but rest assured, we are just getting started here at Ring of Fire. So if you're not already, please do subscribe to the channel and make sure to like, share, and comment on the videos.